Hey guys, it's me again. I guess as the market has reached finally some changes, we have to make an update of our previous market review and see what happened, what was right, what was wrong in our analysis. But let's look at this. You remember that I told you many times in my videos and on my Twitter account that we have to cover this week that we have left here. We always cover this uncovered weeks. It is just a matter of time. And on my Twitter account, I shared this chart when we met this resistance upon super trend and got rejected. I had told you that we are going down, especially if we lose this Kijun shift support, and we lost it, and we went down to retest those very strong global trend line and the yearly range support. And as you can see here, we've held it successfully and started recovery up towards this local counter trend line that was my resistance and was my indicator of when we should start longing. As you see, when we broke this trend line, we simultaneously broke this Kijun-sen shift resistance, and we became bullish. And I mentioned it in my Twitter account, telling that I'm going to long SUSHI, and we will get to that later. But what should we expect next? A lot of people have become bullish right now. I mean, like long term, telling that we have reached our bottom and we are going up as usually. When they see 10% gain in the crypto market, they always turn into the bulls, perma bulls, and they appear and they tell, I told you so. So let's look what we have or can expect here according to what we see here that we broke this line. So basically, we opened the road for some local recovery that can take, for example, a week, 2 weeks, or up to a month, depending on how we are going to develop this price action. For example, what we have here now, if this candle now starts descending a little bit, we can turn on our super trend and we can see that we have either go straight high here and meet our midterm resistance here as this purple line and get rejected here and go back upon the retest of this super trend support. We will retest it sooner or later, I guess, but it depends after in which order. So if we start descending now straight away upon the retest of this super trend, we will go like this, retest both this Kijun support and this super trend support, and if we hold it, reverse here, we will go up here and we'll continue our ascending path. As I mentioned in my Twitter account, I expect ours to recover until at least 32,000 or until, for example, this 34,000 range resistance. For example, we go like this, retest it and get rejected, or we break it, deviate here, dive again under this range line, retest it as resistance, get rejected and go lower. These are my scenarios that I am looking into. Of course, there's also a scenario when we can, if we have a strong movement and fundamental support from the news, some announcements, I don't know, we can actually break up here and meet at least 38,000, but I don't think we can do that. Well, we can actually, but this is the least likely scenario for me. I think everything has to end somewhere here, the reversal we have to have here. But if the S&P 500 goes strong, and I will show you now later a little bit what plans I have for S&P 500, you will understand the scenario when we can be back here. And I expect also the reversal here, but because these lines, these weeks, we always recover. Let's just delete these things, these drawings, and look at the bigger picture. Let's just zoom out and figure out why we have to be back for a recovery of this week. Let's look at the daily. Just delete this, and we can see that on 4-hour time frame, on the daily time frame, this is, as you see, even if we recover until this line, this is where we meet our daily time frame super trend resistance, and it is the great intersection of range resistance and this super trend resistance, and even this counter trend line. This would be a great place to reverse from here and go back lower, or we simply can a little bit have a fake breakout and go like this back to this line, and here we will decide whether we go higher back and get like this, or we lose this trend line straight away and go straight away for this rejection, and we'll find the new bottom around 22, 23, 24,000, because we have to recover this week sooner or later. And also you can see that confirmation of this kind of scenario on my Twitter account. I will show you this now. Also look at the weekly. Look how we are leaving this inappropriate week. It cannot be unrecovered. If you see the history of our trading, we always recover our uncovered weeks. You see this one? It was recovered by this green week. The only one that was not recovered that I see here, it was like here when we had this free fall, but on the weekly it is recovered. On the monthly it is only the occasion when it has left uncovered, but on all of the other time frames it was recovered, simply because that was the V bottom reversal and it was moving fast. But we recovered it on the daily, on 4-hour time frame, on the weekly. Only on monthly it looks like it wasn't recovered, but it was actually. This week wasn't recovered on any major time frames, so it definitely will have to be recovered sooner or later. And you can see that in my second part of this tweet, where I told you that we will lose it, this Kijun support, and we lost it. And the second one scenario that I shared, look at this daily time frame, Bitcoin. I told you that we will have something looking like this between 45 and 52,000 when we left that week, and we didn't cover it. We also went lower, showing everybody like we are going to cover it, but then we got saved here upon the strong support of this range resistance, range support, and we got back up, but we got stopped at the next range's resistance. And I think something like this is going to happen here with Bitcoin. We either go to 32,000 area or 34, 35, and we'll get rejected, and we will see something like this. Maybe not that deep, but it will have to happen sooner or later. And based even on S&P 500 chart, that we know that everybody now knows it, that Bitcoin is correlated to the traditional stock market and S&P, Nasdaq. So if we look at S&P, let's look at it at the chart. What can we see here? With the help of my Kijun shift indicators and super trend, this is where this arrow shows when I told you that we are going down, and we went straight away. Then we reached our support of this long-term trend line. I don't even see it. Wait a minute. Yes, we now see it. We can see my trend lines and how they work for me precisely since May 2021. And this is where these lines, they help me to define the reversal of the S&P 500, you see, precisely. And we reached our Kijun support, got rejected from it, and we retested our super trend resistance here, got rejected, reversed, closed the weekly candle red, and I told you that we are going down. That's it for it. And we went down, found support here around this trend line, but I'm convinced that we are going lower until 3,500 or maybe even 3,400 as our support. And first of all, we will have to, as our previous week was closed with this big green candle, the second one has to be the green also. So it also will help our Bitcoin scenario to recover a little bit to 37,000, and we will draw another green candle here, maybe even until here, 4,500, and we will retest this super trend resistance that is going to be here, and this Kijun resistance, and this would be a great place for us to reverse and get back down. I don't know how long it is going to take. It may be weeks, maybe months, a few months, 1 month or 2. But actually, if you look at our monthly, it will make sense too, depending on how our market is going to open tomorrow. Because you see this week, if we close here with a green week, we will have something like this, month, sorry, not week, month. If we close this monthly green, we will have some retest of this, and we are going to go higher to 4,400, 4,500, as I said. But this week will be stronger. It will be strong, and it will force us to get back down, to reverse at some point here and go back to this orange trend line, and then to our green trend line as our final bottom, I think. And this is where is our monthly S&P support of Kijun, strong support. It is going, and I think from this point we are going to reverse and go further. These are my views based on what I see now from the technical perspective. And also we can have some fundamental support of this. We know that, I guess, on 9th of June, FRS is going to hold a meeting regarding the quantitative tightening. There will be a lot of tightening policy measures enacted, so we have to follow this too. This either will make the market stronger or weaker. We don't know it yet, but we have to follow it. Let's look at some altcoins. Let's start with RAN. What else? What we see here? A lot of altcoins, even with this bounce that Bitcoin had, they didn't even break or reclaim their strong resistances. Let's look at RAN. It is straight upon its resistance here. This intersection of resistances, if it gets rejected here, we will go lower to our yellow zone, as I mentioned it many times, a lot of times before, half a year ago even. But if we reclaim it now, if we close like this and our next candle starts here, it will be our support, I think, and we will go higher until this 18 cents, 19, 20 cents here, and maybe we will go even to up on the retest of this counter trend line that we're holding here for a long time already, and we will get rejected here at some point, and we'll lose it, and we'll go back down to this 8-10 cents zone. That is what I expect based on what I see now. RAN has always been our great indicator of the market, but if you see here, if you look at it in the monthly, we have left a lot of altcoins, even those who bounced, they have left monthly candles weeks uncovered, and those weeks will be covered sooner or later. Even here on weekly, we opened like this, but these small weeks are uncovered. To cover them during this week, we'll have to come back to those prices where we have those red weeks and get bought back, so this green candle will have the green week below at this level of those red weeks. That is when we will be able to tell that we found our bottom or something. Let's switch to Solana. A lot of things are drawn here from me, from my convenient trading, I guess. It still hasn't broken this line, this local. Okay, let's look at this. It is precise here. I think, yes, it is clearly precise as we can. If we break it, we go to this $59 resistance and get rejected, or we break it and touch this global trend line we have around $72 and start rejecting, reversing, and going back lower, recovering this zone, and maybe even we start recovering, or we go lower to this zone that I mentioned many times, $19-21. This is going to be a massive buy opportunity if we go there, but I'm not sure now. We have to follow the global market, and I think that S&P faith will be crucial for Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole. So you have to follow S&P and Nasdaq situation, and the situation regarding the quantitative tightening, interest rates hikes, and other stuff. Also, let's look at our favorite asset called, okay, let's start with SUSHI, as I bought it yesterday, and I shared my video on SUSHI, and lately it has a clear strategy regarding it. I told you where I'm going to take longs or shorts, and it worked out properly for me. As you can see, I told you when we break this green line, counter trend line local, I'm going to long, and as we broke it at 151, 152, I guess, I opened the long, and you can see we found this resistance of 4-hour super trend. Not very good for us here, because if we cannot break this, we will be absorbed here and get back under this Kijun resistance, and that would be rather a close position for me, because it can, if it retests and goes back lower, it gets rejected, it goes back lower to slide upon that line. But for now, I'm holding this position until we dive and close below this Kijun resistance. While it is as support, I'm holding my position, because there are some reasons for us to go lower back, as we are heading tomorrow. There will be the switch of the monthly candles, and both on Bitcoin and on altcoins we have a lot of red weeks on the monthly and even weekly time frames, so we don't know whether we will recover them later or right away. If right away, then we are going to reverse soon and we'll go for another retest, and then we'll be recovering and reversing. But since what we see now, we have potential here on SUSHI. If we don't lose that Kijun support, SUSHI has the opportunity to come, let's look at these bands, at least to 180. But also, if the market is in a good mood and Bitcoin goes strong and goes in upon according to the good scenario that I showed before, then SUSHI will reach at least this super trend resistance around $2, and either gets rejected here or it breaks it and goes upon this $250 to $60 Kijun shift resistance, gets rejected and goes back lower. This is how I'm going to play it and what I expect from this asset. I don't know whether we come to this juicy zone around 50 cents, but if the other scenarios of recovering red weeks on Bitcoin are true, then we will eventually lose this $1.8 support. Definitely, if we lose this black line as support, we are going to 50 cents for a SUSHI, and we have also this line as support that will show us that it is a right target for us to buy here, and it would be a juicy one to buy here. if we ever get the chance to get there. It would be the best price to buy. But if not, then $1 when we get back to it would be also a good buy. So as I mentioned before, I think the best price is to buy sushi is around $1 here. You split your capital dedicated to sushi in two, and you buy one portion here at $1 and the next one around 50-60 cents if we get there. That's it, and you hold for a long term. The rest of it I mentioned in my sushi related video. Okay, let's mention one of the hottest coins I have and I believe in. It is Mina. So as you see, we played it very well before. We shorted it from 350 until 230. Then we went lower. We got those lines that worked perfectly for us. As soon as we lost our orange line, we went lower, and we even broke our all-time low around 90-92 cents and found a new low around 80-81 cents. I didn't buy there, although I wanted. I just expected it a little bit lower. As you remember from my posts on Twitter and in my videos. But I told you, when we first got rejected from this orange line as counter trend line, I told you this is a good indicator. If we break it, we go up. So we finally broke it. And not only we broke it, we recovered this red candle, which would actually tell me that we found the bottom on Mina. And I would think so, and I would buy it here if I didn't know about the Bitcoin situation, that we had a week that we have to recover. So basically, as I told you before, buying here below $1 at 85-80 cents is always a good idea of Mina, a promising blockchain that only has started. But now we broke this counter trend line, and I think it is going to go higher right to this super trend resistance around. We will retest here and go to $1.20, and that actually makes sense for me, where we will find our previous range resistance. We will find our super trend resistance. If the market goes bullish and will be stronger, feeling stronger, we will break it and we'll find our resistance around 159 right upon this Kijun shift resistance, and we will reverse back and we'll be back somewhere here. But we have to follow it step by step, how the market goes. For those who opened long on Mina, it is a good long upon this break of this orange line. As I told you, it is a good long, and you hold it until unless Mina goes back under this line, loses it and closes with the hourly or 4-hour candle below it, then we are going lower. But for now I think it is unlikely, and we will hold it for some time, especially when S&P opens tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but I think it is going to go up. Also, there's one more thing where I'll find this another chart of Mina where I have drawn some things. No, not this one, I guess. Yes, this one. Also, we drew here some channels and support trend lines. As you see, we met our resistance here. These are some other drawings that I didn't draw on that chart not to mess it up, but also we have a lot of resistances here. We might not even get to those 120. That will depend, of course, on Bitcoin and other stuff, but we have this local counter trend line resistance around $1.99. So in order for us to break it through higher, we have to reclaim it, retest it, and go higher upon 113, 114, and that can be our end, because this trend line that we held here for some time can become our resistance, and as it was many times, we can go right from here below, or we can get back up, retest it, and only then go below. So you have to be aware of these lines that also matter. Only if we break them, retest, break, coming here, breaking, retesting, and going higher. Only upon the retests, successful retest, we can go higher and higher. But if we, for example, breaking this line, retesting, failing to retest, start closing below, retesting as resistance, it is going to be a bailout sign and we are going lower. That's how we play it, level to level, trend line by trend line, confirmation after confirmation, and other stuff. So for those Mina lowers, you have to be aware of this situation, of these possibilities, but actually hold it until we hold this orange line as support. If you entered upon the break or entered here below, that's awesome. You are in a good spot. I would buy it too if I didn't know about Bitcoin. So okay, I guess that's it. We can also look at NEAR. NEAR I was talking a lot about. It also has left a very bright red week. This one that has to be recovered. We didn't cover it fully, so definitely I think it is going. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, it has a lot of space to go higher. For example, we met here, we lost our Kijun, weekly Kijun support. Now we below it, and we held upon this super trend support. So we either, if we reclaim this line again, we will retest this 752 and we'll get rejected upon that counter trend line, and we'll be back to this red trend line, this global trend line. We will sooner or later be back to it around 378, 330, and I am not sure that we will hold it. For some time we can hold it, actually retest here, get rejected, and go back below, and we will come to, I'm not sure that we will come actually to 170 and or even 190, but I think between $2.30 and $3 is a good spot to buy NEAR in the long run, and stake it whatever you can do it. The NEAR ecosystem is expanding fast. It has a lot of DEXs, a lot of pools, AMMs, liquid staking products that allow you to earn significant interest on your assets. So definitely NEAR is a worth buy. It only gets started. Let's back to our AKT, Akash Network token. Well, as you see, our weekly closed not bullish here. This candle tells me a lot, but this is on Kraken, but it works too. We had something like this here, and you know how that works. These candles on weekly, they all, let's look at the monthly. The history here is not big, not enough to assess here, but these weeks always tell us about the continuation of the dump. It means also we have an uncovered wick here, which will be covered sooner or later. So if we have this weekly close, this is locally a recovery candle, so we start with recovery here, but then we will be forced to go lower, or at least upon the recovery of this week. That's 100%. This is another sign for me that we are not with our lows. We didn't find our bottom yet, and we will be back. It is not a reversal for the new bull run and new cycle. This candle tells me a lot that AKT and the market is going to be back lower, but definitely after some bounce, I think a little bit until 50-60 cents, maybe 70, I don't know. We can look at some other chart of Akash network token, the one that I made predictions on, and you can see that we closed a little bit differently here, but we still have that week that I mentioned to you in my previous video of market analysis. This week is going to be recovered sooner or later. Sooner or later we will cover it. Oh, we have it picked up. You see, it will be covered. It is around 20 cents. Sounds a little bit too low, but I think we can get there if market capitulates and Bitcoin recovers. It's finally recovers its uncovered wick on high time frames. So definitely Akash still remains under its previous range resistance, and it will be back. We can simply adjust this line. It will be back sooner or later, and we will have some other scenario here. So Akash is one of the assets that also tells me that we are going to be back low, and maybe for altcoins even lower. Also, we can look at some of our total market cap. As you see, we have left a lot of weeks there too, and we haven't touched our support, our global support here yet too. As you see, we've got this resistance again. If we break it, if our market cap breaks this local resistance of this counter trend line, local black, we will be sliding towards this resistance, and we will retest, I guess, this range resistance, mid-range resistance, as you see. Classic. And we will be rejected at some point here, either like this and go lower to our targets around 1 trillion market capital, market cap capitalization. We will get our target sooner or later, I think so, or we will break it, get rejected upon this Kijun shift resistance, and we'll slide back down, and we'll be back to it anyway. That would make sense. Even if we continue this line, we would be back to it like this. At some point around in August or in July, I don't know. But this is going to happen sooner or later, whether we want it or not. Basically, this pump now is to cool off the market, to squeeze the late shorters, and to revive some longer, some bulls, some those people who think they may lose the opportunity to buy this low, and those who are afraid to lose the bottom before the next bull run. And as they see 10-20% bounces, they will be already be telling us and everybody and themselves in the first place that we are bullish, we are going for a new run, the new cycle and the new bull run has started, and we are going higher to the new all-time highs. And that is where they all will be caught by the market makers, and we will go back lower, at least to our previous lows, or maybe even a little bit lower for another, the last, I think, leg down. So definitely we have to follow the situation, be cold-minded, and react according to the TA, to our plans, scenarios, and do not fall for any fuss and noise, emotions. Definitely for those of you who like what they see, my analysis, you can follow me on Twitter, or you can subscribe to my private channel where I share my education, some my secret stuff that I share with my subscribers. It's only $55 to join my private channel. You can DM me in the Twitter and you will get the access. So also you can join the Bybit. You can join the Bybit World Series of Trading competition, whether you can compete there to split $8 million in USDT, NFTs, bonuses, and mutant apes NFTs and other stuff. Or you can simply, if you are not a user on Bybit, you can earn some great bonuses and start trading there and test trading there at the cost of the exchange. You can earn a lot of bonuses, like 30 BTC bonus for the new user registration. You can get up to $50 when you register for WSOT competition. You don't have to actually participate in it. You simply have to make the first deposit. I guess it is better to deposit from $300 to $500 to be eligible to participate for free in all their lucky draws, the tasks, simple tasks, and split a lot of money and prizes, NFTs, and this competition. Also, you can get a Launchpad NFT if you are among 1,000 first who complete their basic KYC on Bybit. When you register, those will receive the Launchpad NFT, and I guess with that NFT you will have a free allocation during the next upcoming Launchpad on Bybit that usually gives you X5, X10 upon the start of trading of the new token. So definitely WSOT is a great chance for you to start trading on Bybit and get a lot of prizes for your small deposit. So don't miss it up. Check my video in the right upper corner. You will find the link to my video about WSOT this year. Good luck to you guys. See ya.